We're about to engage in a beautiful but long week. And it's in many ways the summit of our faith, the summit of our belief. And in general, not during this period, but in general, I often find myself going back to a painting. It's a secular painting. This is not an icon. But it's an interesting painting that ever since the first time I saw it, it just kind of stuck in my mind, and it's the one you have on the screen there. Looking at it, just never seen it, it's full of life, full of color. But it's very deceptive. It's very deceptive. Just looking at it, it's a parade, it's a celebration. But it's hard to know off the bat immediately what is the point, who is the point, until you kind of look at the small figure way in the back. And then it becomes a little bit more clear. It's about Christ, the Lord coming riding on his donkey. This is an image by James Ensor, painted in the late 1800s, and it's down in the Getty, so you can always see it. It's a great painting. It's massive. It's 8 feet by 14 feet. And if you come and just stand right in front of it, it just takes up your entire field of vision. It's almost like you're right there in the middle of this painting. And it always kind of stuck in my mind, not so much for the reasons that Ensor painted it. Some of the themes might be similar, but definitely I'm kind of taking it out of his context. Because it's joyful, it's glorious, until you look at it closely. As you look at it closely, it's kind of grotesque. Everyone is either malformed, they look deformed. Can almost see it as his commentary on the internal disposition. Others are wearing masks. They're not showing their true face. Others are just painted like clowns. And yet they are part of this parade. Now it's interesting that it's kind of hard to see because he's so small, but the only figure in this entire massive image that has a real human face is that of Christ. He is, whether Ensor knew it or not when he painted this, he is depicting Christ as the only true human, the first Adam and the Son of God. The problem here is that even though this great parade, and the painting is called The Entrance of Christ into Brussels. He's imagining what it would be like if Christ came down and is actually just like he entered Jerusalem, just like what we'll be celebrating tomorrow, if Christ would come into his city. And this is his depiction of it. The problem here is that while Christ is there, and Christ is the reason for the whole celebration, and you can see it here in some parts. You can see it there, and he's writing in French, but it's long live Jesus, the King of Brussels, as we just heard in the hymn. We call to him the King of Israel, of course. But as you look onto it, even though he's there and it's because of him that all these celebrations are taking place, he might as well not be there. The people are focused on everything else. They're looking at each other, they're enjoying the celebration, they're getting into all the trappings of the parade. This one is focused on the celebration. These two are focused on the Hazet of a hymn. Was it 2 like the Ibrahim Ayed version, or is it 3 like Mahad al-Darasat? They're arguing about, they want to get it right. They want to get it right. The people are there, but they're there for many reasons, and Even though Christ is there, most could really care less. The gospel of this evening is about a celebration. It's not a parade, but it's a large party. Christ has come to the house of Lazarus, and there's a massive party. And the gospel tells us it's in honor of Christ. Now, Lazarus was clearly kind of a leading figure in his region. Just when he had died earlier, many had come to console his sisters. He was a man of means, power. So this is a massive party, and because he has been resurrected by Christ and Christ is there, as the gospel tells us, Jews are coming from all over to see him, to meet him. This gathering included people that they must have known intimately, told them ahead of time, hey, Jesus is coming, we're going to have a great celebration in his honor, be sure to be there. And it's clear that many, they did not know. They just simply heard that Jesus is in this house and they went to see him. Massive numbers. And in this, we see Martha serving, and as several of the fathers comment that she was only serving the table of Lazarus, and Christ, she's not serving this massive festival. We see Mary, in front of all of these people, in the midst of the celebration, in the midst of the crowd, in front of those that they know perhaps from childhood, in front of those that they don't know at all, but in front of all these people, she leaves everything, she goes to Christ, she breaks that perfume, puts it on his feet, and begins to wipe it off with her hair. Not distracted by the feast, not distracted by the people, not distracted by the ruckus, and basically offering to Christ. Now Christ tells us that it's for his imminent burial, to prepare his body, but it's almost a thanksgiving to him. She brought this most expensive ointment, and she is putting it at his feet, not his head, not at his feet, and wiping it with her hair. Now, one of the things that hasn't really changed much throughout history is women and their hair. When a woman has her hair done, especially for a big celebration like that, the last thing you're going to do is touch it or mess it up. It's not uncommon to hear newlyweds, the guys kind of complaining about how long it takes their new brides to do their hair. And it's, because previously when you're engaged, you set a time, she spent an hour beforehand getting it ready, and you appeared, and voila, she's ready to go. And when you're married now, you gotta wait. You gotta wait. Women don't like their hair messed with. In church, sometimes women, even in communion, don't put a handkerchief over their hair because, well, apparently the hair is more important than obeying a very clear biblical commandment. She takes what is most precious to her and she puts it literally at his feet. When we look at the others, look at Judas. Judas doesn't look at Christ. He doesn't understand what's going on. He doesn't look at Lazarus. He's focused on the cost of this ointment. And it's interesting. It's interesting that just off the bat, without anybody telling him anything, as soon as he smelled it, Judas knew what it was. He knew what it was, and he knew how much it is. Judas seems to have been accustomed to the finer things in life. But the whole miracle, the whole humility that Mary presented, all of that is missing to him. The guests, as the gospel tells us, many of them came, but also to see Lazarus. They want to see Lazarus. It's great that they'll see Jesus, but they're going to see Lazarus. And the chief priests that are also mentioned in the gospel, well, they're completely missing the boat. They're thinking about how to assassinate or kill Lazarus. They don't understand Christ. They don't understand the miracle. They're just blindness upon blindness. Over this week, there's going to be a lot of distractions. There's going to be a lot of readings. Some of them are going to be clear and obvious. Some of them are going to be obscure and you may not understand them right away. There's going to be a ton of hymns. Some of them a lot longer than others. There's going to be a bunch of rites. There's going to be no shortage of distractions. Don't be distracted by the readings, the hymns, the services, or the food. Don't be in the middle of a parade, but missing what the parade is about. Remember Mary. Remember Mary. Hone in on Christ and Christ alone. All that is done, from readings to hymns to you name it, all that is done is for him and about him. And without him, none of it makes sense or really has any reason to even exist. Take your cues from Mary at every hour. Bring yourself to his feet and offer up what is most precious to you. And ask him to fill your life and yourself with his glory. And glory be to God forever.